at the Chumash, right? It says Vaychuli Terumah. And what is it connected to? It connects it to Pasuk. Ki lekach. What does lekach mean?
Verticals.
A good purchase.
A good purchase, right? A good purchase, something good. Good
good
asset,
deal.
good inventory, good deal. Ki lekach tov natati lechem. I gave you a good deal. Torati al ta'azovu. Don't leave it. Okay, so what does he say? He says sometimes when you buy something, it'll have kesef but won't have zahav. Or it'll have zahav but it won't have kesef. There's all the midrash. Okay? Or sometimes your person's going to, so he says, sometimes you buy something and you don't have, I'm waiting for you, I'm waiting to know what you're going to bring back from the farm. I'm excited. I didn't see you last week. I'm excited.
Where was it?
I don't know, not here.
Larry's in the house.
He took attendance.
Chips, pretzels.
Yeah, we stepped up our game.
What about
is-
like? Do you own a farm?
No, he works on a farm. Long story. Let's go.
All right, cool.
So look, the Midrash says, "Vaychuli terumah." It says, "Vaychuli terumah." Ki lekach tov natati lechem torati al ta'azovu. So he says, "Al ta'azvu et hamekach sheli." Don't forsake the acquisition that I'm giving you. Why? Because sometimes somebody could acquire something that has gold, but it doesn't have silver. Or if it has silver, it doesn't have gold. But mine, the Torah that I'm giving you, has both. Yes, kesef and yes, gam zahav. About the mekach sheratati lachem, right, has both, and he gives a pasuk for each one, right, in the Midrash. Yesh shecha adam lokeh sadot aval lo keramim. You have a guy that sometimes will acquire a piece of land that you can put a sadeh, or you can put keramim, a field, right, a vineyard. Right, and you won't be able to buy a property that does both. You're not gonna remember we talked about. You can't make an etrog field in Brooklyn.
It's not zoned.
It ain't zoned because the climate's not there. You gotta go to Morocco. Right. So, but mine, he says the lekach that I'm giving you, the thing that you're acquiring from me, has both. Has sadot and keramim. Moshe, what are you making a sadeh? What are you planting a sadeh?
Trees.
Yeah, it's kind of right. Wheat.
By the way, isn't it Zion Adam?
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Adoration.
Not Aleph. No, he's not that big.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Who?
But there are some who would know it.
Everything is in our bed, no?
Yeah, but he's
Oh no.
So
If there was a
it's like
double,
Purim Katan, it's like
if
Moshe
there was a
Rabbeinu's
Shana Mubarak, then it stays in the same month.
Okay, so again, so you have some
He was
guys.
in Shana Mu'beret and he was in Aleph.
Right.
Who was Shana
No,
Milben?
I'm saying unless it was someone, if somebody,
We'll look up that Zera. Maybe it's in here.
no, I'm saying
Somebody's
unless somebody
born.
was mufta,
Somebody's born.
You know who's born on a Shana Milben? Tom the handyman.
He's 19 and a half years old.
So I told him, I
My
go.
brother was
So
born in
that's
Shana
why you don't smile, huh? You know, not too many birthdays. Okay, boys, listen up. So again, so he says sometimes you have mekach, you have silver, you have gold. Okay, sometimes so mine has both. Some has sadot, some has keramim. Mine has both. Yesh lecha adam lokeach. This is a great one. You have something that a guy acquires and nobody knows the value. The number was undisclosed. Nobody knows. Okay, no one knows how much it is. The only way you know how important it is, or how big of a deal it was from the broker. The broker gets his CM, right? He gets his commission. So whatever the broker gets, that's how you know it must have been a crazy deal. The guy bought a house. The guy bought a house on the water. It must have been something big. I don't know how much, but it must be something big. She goes, with me, same thing. Says, Ela misachah shelakach Moshe Rabbeinu, that he comes down, Moshe lo yada ki karan or panav. Moshe Rabbeinu had such a light coming from his face, he didn't even know what he received, and the only way you were able to see was, he couldn't even see. So the broker that gave us the Torah, it's amazing, right? Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
So this is the Midrash. Now, I don't know about you guys.
Wait, so here the broker didn't know.
Alright, the broker didn't know. No, it's not that the broker knew or not, it's the sechar that the broker received. And he received keren or parav, and it was beautiful, but he didn't even know that he got it, but it's not the point. The point is that he got it.
Shechina.
But it's the point that he got it on his face.
Shechina.
I don't know Shekhinah. I don't know, you don't label the Shekhinah? You're not going to label the Shekhinah. No, it's odd.
Not Shechina.
I don't know if you're going to label it Shekhinah. It's not the Shekhinah on his face.
It says by Moshe,
I don't know if you would label it as the Shekhinah.
Hashem harat et ha'otiyot, and all of the gems that fell, Moshe got to keep.
No, that's not the gems. That's the when he made the luchot.
Right.
All
Right, there were gems, there was diamonds.
Yeah, because there was.
You're saying maybe it was.
a whole lot of money.
You're saying maybe it's greater than the Shechina.
Not greater or worse. It's from the Torah. It's the look. You learn something.
You ever see a tzaddik that he walks into a room and you see a light emanating from his face? It's the O. That's what he's talking about.
And it was an awe so strong that you couldn't look at him. Imagine. Oh, that is sweet. Okay. So now, but the midrash is beautiful, but you have a problem. It makes no sense. It doesn't. What is Vaychuli terumah? Right? Take a terumah from me. Right? We have to do with lekach tov natati lachem torati atazovu. This pasuk is talking. What does Vaychuli terumah mean? Moshe, picking on you tonight. You ditch me for 3 weeks, you're gonna pay the price. What does Vaychuli terumah mean? Mordechai.
Take a
terumah. Take something
for Hashem.
Right. Take something from Hashem, from your heart. Right. Whatever you want to give. Right. Whatever you want to give. What does that have to do with ki lekach tov natati lachem torati atazovu? The midrashim is supposed to help explain the pesukim of what it's talking about.
Is the word lekach and yikul.
Very cool.
That's the only connection.
But you're right.
No, I'm saying there's no
right. But there's nothing real there.
Right.
Okay. Upshat midrash ze atamuha. V'yesh lomar et shenoda. We know the Zera Berach writes in Megillat Esther. It writes in Megillat Esther that the Torah is split into 3 categories. You have Helek Hamaaseh.
Halacha lemaseh.
Just Maaseh.
Maseh is halacha lemaseh.
Okay.
Or it's the Pshat story.
No, it's Maaseh. It's mitzvot.
What?
It's mitzvot. Helek Iyun. Iyun is learning one thing from another. Davar we talked about coming up with Hidushim. Right? On this learning. And the third category is the sod part.
It's a chidush he's saying, because really we know 4 parts.
No, we know, Pardes, I thought about it. Pardes is just how to understand the Torah. This is talking about the Torah split into 3 categories. You could say both. Because really, what's the difference? You tell me the difference. What's the difference between the Parshat Derash? The Parshat Derash Demisod is just how to explain the Torah. There's 4 categories of how you think, of how you can look at the Torah. Right? Of how you can look at the Torah.
Oh,
This is talking about the
Over a half.
separation between the 3. So we're going to review. By the way, I hope people don't come late because they know I'm going to start from the beginning. So look, we have a midrash that says Vaychuli terumah. Right? By the way, why do I do the review? Because of you. I learned from you. Because when I started giving classes, I would go over it once, and I would keep going because I don't understand. I keep going too fast. I'm not getting it. So I'm like, yeah, of course, because it took me 10 times to understand it. So why would I expect anyone to be any less? So I learned from you, amen. Legit. So thanks. Again, midrash.
Shoot 1 bullet and hit, then 10 and miss.
You were doing good. I don't know what that means.
It means exactly what you just said. In other words, like shoot 1, give me the information that I get it. It's like 1 bullet, lavdil. Then to shoot thousands and miss, and I didn't get nothing.
Right. Say a lot in the same amount of time and not get much. Okay. The midrash says we're doing gimel. Drasha gimel. Vaychuli terumah says take from me a terumah from everybody. Right. Connects it with pasuk ki lekach tov natati lachem torati atazovu. Right. I gave you a good asset. Right? Torati ata, don't leave my Torah. That's the thing. What is the midrash? Midrash continues and says that there are people that acquire, don't leave my acquisition, don't leave my asset that I'm giving you. Some people acquire land that you can only, that you can buy, you can acquire something and it has gold but doesn't have silver. Or it might have silver but it doesn't have gold. You buy a house and go, this is good, but the kitchen's no good. The kitchen's great, but the den's no good. You know, you don't get the perfect deal.
No view, no garden.
No view. I want the garden view.
The neighbor's no good.
The neighbor's no good. Shared driveway. The wife is still here.
No solemnite.
So, but what I'm giving you has both. Has both. Focus.
I'm
Has
very
both.
focused.
No, focus here.
It's a shadow.
Who cares? Okay, now what? You have both. You have this ain't the Wild West. Okay, I know how you.
no,
Definitely
it
the
is
Wild
East,
West.
man.
The Wild East. So he gets. So he says what? He goes kilek aktov, right? Some things have gold, some things have silver, but I have both, and he gives pesukim for both. Then he says some people can buy a piece of property and will be able to plant sadot and or keramim, but never both. Sometimes keramim, I can only put vineyards here. I can't put fruit trees, or I can put fruit trees. I can't put the other one. But this one's got both. The Torah's got both, right? And then there's a third category. Where people buy something and nobody even knows what it's worth. It's such a big deal that nobody's talked about it. They only know from the reward that the broker receives. From the reward that the broker receives. And how do we know? We know from Moshe Rabbeinu. It comes down, Or Panav. right? And he didn't have no idea what he got. Then well, Bnei Yisrael knew whatever he has is really heavy duty because he has his light, his face is lit. I mean, and that's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's it. That's enough. Now the question is, now explaining what is the connection between Vaikuli Terumah with the fact that it's all great and dandy. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, but what does it have to do with Terumah, with the Mishkan? So he explains that the Zera Berach, right, breaks the Torah down into three categories. One is Maaseh, you do mitzvot. The second one is Iyun, where you learn it. And the third part is the sword, the secrets behind the mitzvot, the secrets behind why we say Shema, secrets why we do Netilat Yadayim, secrets why we wear tzitzit, four corners, not five corners. All these different things. That's the three categories where things fall into. Okay? This is the Zera Berach writes in Megillat Esther. And now he's going to show you that each category goes to each part of the Midrash. Remember, the Midrash gave you three things. Zahavo Kesef was the first one. Yeah, what's the second? Was Sadoto Kramim. And third was nobody even knows except the broker. From the broker's reward. Not even the broker knows. The broker didn't even know. So the first one is the Hedek Maaseh. What's the Maaseh? The Midrash says Zahav or Kesef, Kesef or Zahav, right? So what does that mean? He's showing. Am I not that entertaining? We have to look at cauliflower.
Well, there's a snail that's
Well, you gotta wash him.
cruising on the
You gotta wash them.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't expect you. Did you really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, you
Snail?
eating
That's very nice of you.
cauliflower
Snail?
raw like it's potato chips?
Okay, this is totally Yitzhara. Stop it. Stop it.
Totally.
These guys
That if a person
I
does
gotta
not,
show this to my wife. They're eating cauliflower raw like it's potato chips.
No one's eating it. It's just a table.
that if somebody does a mitzvah, he acquires, right?
We want
He
you to
acquires osher, zev, osher and zechut gadol la'olam haba. B'chol mitzvot matan secharan shaveh. And look what he says. He explains that when you do a mitzvah, what do you do when you don't yell, when you don't let your emotions get the best of you, which is the one common denominator with all the gedulim. The common denominator with all the gedulim is midot. You have rabbis, Hasidut. You have Sfaradi rabbis that are all Kabbalah or whatever. You have Ashkenazi rabbis that have their own thing. All the gedulim on every level is all about midot. That's what makes a gadol. And when a person works on himself, when he keeps his mouth shut when he wants to yell, or if he doesn't steal in business, or he says Shema on time, or does any mitzvah whatsoever, you acquire something. What do you acquire? You're acquiring something. And what do you acquire? You're acquiring osher, riches, and you're acquiring zechut gadol and olam haba. My wife asked me last night, she goes, what's going to happen when Mashiach comes? I told her we're going to get to enjoy the glory of God. And then I said, okay, they're not going to understand what that means, so let me break it down. So I said, imagine, and I said this all in the same breath. I go, imagine you're hanging out with your friends. You go, you like hanging out with your friends? She goes, yeah. I go, now imagine hanging out with the best of friend, now 1,000 times more, 100 million times more, and you get to do that all day. That's enjoying God.
It's fun.
Right? Now we're talking. Now we're cooking. Now, okay, what do you mean? Tell me more. What is it? We're going to joke? What are we doing? We're going to go shopping? What are we going to do? It sounds great. But that's the point. When you say enjoying the ziva the Shekhinah, that works for some, but might not work for others. You got to break it down. You have to understand it's going to be full enjoyment. But not enjoyment like you might think, like partying and then, no, that's the bad stuff.
So it's not shopping.
Huh?
It's not shopping.
It's not shopping. No, it's not shopping.
There might be some shopping.
You have to. For the holidays that don't exist. Purim. Purim's the only holiday that's going to last.
It's gonna be great.
Purim, because we did it. We did it. Right?
Kiva the
Kibbu.
kibbu, but kava.
Only Purim.
Only Purim.
What's the
That's
star
it.
for Netilat Yadayim?
There is no
Nobody-
such
nobody
nobody knows.
knows.
But the Shulchan Aruch says, what does the Shulchan Aruch say about Netilat Yadayim? If you get a haircut, and if you cut your nails, and you don't want, boys, if you cut your nails and you don't wash your hands,
This is
you're gonna be anxious for 3 days and you won't know why.
people don't know this.
No, it's crazy.
The world
It's
is going
crazy.
through such a
What about in the morning?
problem
What about
with
in the
this.
morning?
This
Say,
is a
by
mental
the way,
health
Shulchan Aruch
crisis.
Aleph, I'll show you here.
Zevi showed me in your
What happens in the morning? You
got
have the nails, you
You're
didn't
gonna
cook
be
them in
nervous. No,
3
you're gonna be
days.
nervous. By the way, you're gonna be very nervous. You're gonna be nervous, but you won't know why. That's the scary part. And it's in Shulchan Aruch. It's not like it's in,
Right,
the
Shulchan Aruch.
Chok L'Yisrael. It's in, you know what I mean? By the way, anybody go, Eli, the haircut guy, has a plaque.
Yeah.
Remind everyone, yeah.
That's right.
Is that crazy? He has a
My
plaque.
wife also, she's
No way.
she's
No
like
way.
He has
10
a plaque that
times.
says whoever
Don't forget
Wash
to
your
cuts
hands.
his
don't
hair
forget to wash your
and
hands.
does it. What's it called? Whoever cuts his hair and does it
Doesn't-
he's gonna be anxious for 3 days and he won't know why.
6 times.
What? What's happening?
My father washes his hands all day long. You touch your shoes, you tie your shoes.
That's what the law says. Touch your body, touch
How'd you
your
get to
hair.
that?
Touch your body that normally,
No, it's up there.
touch your body that you normally won't cover. So touching here inside is no good in the back, but touching here is fine because it's all exposed. Okay, so that's all. It's crazy.
How do you started getting into this? It's in here or if you
No, he just
track?
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were talking about the
No,
Mitzvah
I'm just asking how
Mitzvah.
it's connected.
No,
Zakat mitzvot. So he asked what zakat mitzvot is.
Because
Yeah.
wrote the
I remember a few shurim ago, he said in the Zera Shimshon,
Someone calls it
we don't know the schar mitzvot. Some are.
So that's what we're talking about.
And
So
now
that
he's saying not what the Jews a few weeks ago. He's saying
No.
every mitzvah.
is shaveh.
Yeah, and then a few weeks ago we had a whole argument. You said it says in Pirkei Avot, Alti mitzvah.
We're gonna bring that up again. We're gonna bring it up again. We're gonna bring it up. Don't worry, we're good. Don't worry, I got the answer. So again, so hakol mitzvot matan secharat shaveh, and all the mitzvot are equal, like it says in Midrash Rabbah. Midrash Rabbah gives orech hayim pen tefales, right? So it's a pasuk in Mishneh that says that the Hashem doesn't give us the direction of all the mitzvot, doesn't tell us the zachar of the mitzvot because then we might only do one and we're not gonna do the other. Right? So we're all gonna do kibbutz avayim, it's amazing, but we're never gonna do shuvah haken, which both says arichut yamim.
I did Shiloh Haken.
Yeah, me too.
I also.
I did it twice. And every time I did it, I can tell you stories here. But I don't want to have too many people watching. If too many
5,000
likes.
What are you trying to say?
It's
good or bad
long-
stories?
It's a long story.
You don't got time for long, but it's a good story, but you got zechut for it.
Listen,
That's the-
I have a friend that
Figure
is
something
called Dermot
with you,
Juvan in
that's his
America.
fault.
He was started getting rid of the toys that he didn't like what the kids had. He got rid of the Barbie, he threw it out the window, and then he got rid of the male one, he did the mitzvah. He threw out the Ken.
I did it during the day.
Very deep stuff.
I did it during the
Good
day.
joke.
Not much related. Alright, listen, boys, let's focus. Okay, so we are talking about the first part of the Midrash that says that sometimes you get something, you buy kesef, but you don't get zahav, or you get zahav, you don't get kesef. When you do a mitzvah, right, they're all equal. You have to observe them as if they're all equal. Right? And all the mitzvot are equal. Why? Like it says in Midrash Rabbah, because the Midrash Rabbah gives an example. The Midrash Rabbah gives an example of a king who wants to build an orchard, wants to plant an orchard, but he doesn't tell the people what's worth what. He doesn't tell them, but so he comes out and he sees the orchard. Says what? So he says, all right, who planted this pepper tree? So the guy goes, Anna, I did. So he goes, all right, here's a zuz, here's $1. Oh, who planted this tomato thing? Who planted this and that? Okay, who planted that olive tree? He goes, I did. He goes, here's 200 zuz. So the other guy goes, well, what are you going to 200 zuz for? We worked just as hard. He goes, yeah, but that's worth more. So he goes, but why didn't you tell us? We would have planted. He goes, that's the problem. That's why I didn't tell you.
Exactly.
Because if I would have told you that, then I would have full of olive trees. I don't want only olive trees. I want a parades. I want a garden. If Hashem only, that's why you have this easiest
Here
mitzvah.
seems to be saying that all the mitzvot are the same sachar.
Can I finish? I'll help you. I'll get you. I'll get you there. We don't.
Seems to be saying
No,
here,
he's explaining. No, that's why.
that even the
That's why.
smallest mitzvah is gold and silver and everything.
It is gold.
That's
and
why
silver. Let me
when it
get
says-
there. I'll get there. 1 second.
That's why. Ekev Tishmeru.
Right, of course. Ekev Tishmeun. By the way, you know what the Rabbi Chaim says? Something really, really scary. Really, really scary. He says everybody's very, very careful to make sure not to be over on 3 big sins. Gilui Arayot, Shifchut Damim, Avodah Zarah. Those are the easy ones. You know the averot that come after you by Yom Adin is Lashon Hara.
All the little ones.
But he goes, but not only that, but Lashon Hara is the worst. Because you created it with your mouth, you gave them the ability to speak.
To who? Darot.
No, not all the averot, the Lashon Hara.
Wow.
And the Rabbi Chaim says that they are vocal, Kiviyachol, at Yom Adin, and it's extremely, extremely embarrassing. From all the Malachim, in front of everybody, the words, it's horrible. It's horrible. And why? Because you spoke Lashon Hara. Be very careful. Everyone's got to learn the halachot of Lashon Hara. Rabbi Chaim. You got to learn them. It's so easy. You know why you don't want to do it? Because the Yetzer Hara is pushing so hard not to do it. And you know why he's pushing so hard not to do it? Because it's so important. To learn the halachot of Rabbi Chaim. Learn the halachot of Lashon Hara.
Do one before the Zera Shimshon every year now, from now. One,
not a bad
quick
idea.
one.
It's a great one.
All right,
The
not bad.
Chafetz Chaim-
Remind me, I have it upstairs. That's not a bad
No.
idea.
Charles,
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. The Chafetz Chaim says that if you learn all the halachas, and at the end you go like this, I could never do it. He said that's already a milah. That's already a high level.
Because you know how hard it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have to go through the whole thing. I just read the first 20 seconds. There's no way.
So again, what does he do? He connects. The Torah tells you, he gives you zechut. He tells you the zechut of two mitzvot. One in the whole Torah, all the things that we have, two mitzvot. One is shiluch haken, shooing away the mother bird, and two is kibud aveim. Why? And they both give the same halacha, right? Why does it say Leman Yichud Yamecha? Because to show you that the easiest are the easiest and the hardest are the hardest, is the same one. It's the same one. The easiest are the easiest and the hardest are. Why does it do that? Because if we gave the mitzvot, we gave the reasons for the mitzvot, you can have a guy that does one big mitzvah versus a guy that does not such a big mitzvah, and he's going to make fun. He goes, listen, I got zahav, you got kesef. I got what I got. You understand? Because now imagine you made $1 million and I made $1,000. You're gonna have a little whatever. You're gonna
Also, if we knew the reward, we'll be running after the big mitzvah.
Also, that's the midrash devarim. Very true. When one guy does one mitzvah and the other guy does another mitzvah, lo yamar ehad. He doesn't want. Hashem doesn't want. One guy's gonna say, "I did the hamura one. I'm getting zahav." You did the kala one, right? You're gonna get the kesef, right? Sachar merubah v'sachar muad. Era kulan shavot v'sacharan merubah. And you should know what the Zohar HaGadol says, that nobody knows what someone else's Olam Haba looks like. You understand? Your world is your own. Customized.
You mean up there when it's
Up there, yeah. What do you mean?
no, so like so that everyone is like on his own.
Because you could do one thing in your life that could give you endless amount of reward, and you don't even know about it.
And also the amount of effort that you put into certain mitzvot might be worth
I'll tell you
something to
something. Yeah.
as opposed to someone else who does it very easily, and therefore you get a lot more schar because.
No, I'm just saying like I want to meet the guys, up there. I don't want to be alone there.
No, don't worry. I'm sure Hashem's got it covered. I'm sure.
You're not alone.
I'm sure Hashem's got it covered. I'll put it that way. So that's why Pirkei Avot says, boys. That's why you have to be careful with an easy mitzvah as you are with a hard mitzvah. Because you don't know the reward of the mitzvah. You just don't know. So you have to be meticulous.
What's the reward?
Sachar. So that's the first part. That's the difference between zahav or kesef. That was the second one. We said sadot or keramim. You buy a piece of land, it could be good for planting, or it could be good for planting vines. I'm not in Brooklyn. I don't know. We don't have grass in Brooklyn. So what's the second one? Then iyun. This is, by the way, this is gorgeous. Pay attention. So look what it says. She'adam mehadesh umotzi parperaot lehochma. Now what is iyun? We talked about is hidushim. When a person's able to bring out a hidush, something so delicious and something so beautiful for right from the Torah. It's very similar to sadot deker, fields and vineyards. Why? Because they also produce. A hidush is something that you produce, something new. That's what a hidush is.
A good pre.
Yeah, peri hadash, right? Yeah, so now look what it says. It's very similar to sadot keramim. There are lands that are good for sowing, right, seeds, but they're not good for planting grapes. And they have the opposite also. Yesh lehepech. About iyun Torah, but for the Torah, right? Mi sheme'ayen ba mehadesh ba. Wow. Kol minei hidushin, right? But the person that is iyun betorah is gonna have everything. He's gonna have sadot and he's gonna have keramim.
I show you how like the Torah is better than the three mekachs.
Yes, exactly. In each way, the fact that the Torah is split, the three things. One is maaseh, one is iyun, and one is sod. So we went through the maaseh to show the mitzvot. That's why the Torah does not give. It's amazing. The Sakkal and mitzvot. Why does the Torah not say the Sakkal and mitzvot? Because Hashem doesn't want you to do some and not the others.
Sitting there.
Because He knows that you.
And his son.
Oh, so next to. That's also good. That's fine. Okay. The second one we did was the iyun. We're in the middle of iyun.
This is fun. This is what I'm listening.
He's good, he's good. But so, give the guy something to eat.
No, I don't know.
My wife made brown.
Don't ask him, by the way, you're not supposed to ask a guest, do you want to eat?
Give me the
You're
brown.
supposed to give him a plate.
He's your guest.
You don't ask, so somebody please give.
Give me.
We got Charlie coming,
Give me the
guys.
brown.
Doesn't left.
Give me the
We got
brown.
Charlie, the poppers aren't here yet.
My wife made these brownies.
Alright, I'll give him a round. Alright, look. So again, come on boys, let's focus. So Helik Ayun is what? Is Mehadesh Motzi Parpeot LaChma.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come to listen. Get some soul food. That's what I came for.
Alright, good. So we'll give you some soul food. About Ayun Torah.
It's not easy.
Misha Me'ayin Ba. Shh, everybody. Alright, good. But the sauce for that is in the fridge. You got it covered? Okay, I'm just make sure. Misha Me'ayin Ba Mehadesh Ba Kol Minei Hidushim. V'notea Torato B'zichrono.
Everything, we got somebody to part.
Okay, everyone, I have your attention?
Yes.
Good?
Can I have your attention,
Whoa.
please?
Okay, so again, we had Maaseh, we went through Maaseh, and now we're in the middle of the Iyun. The Iyun we're explaining that is Mehadesh Motzi Parpeot La Torah. Right? Iyun, what does the Iyun mean? The Torah split into three things. Doing the mitzvot, studying the Torah, and coming up with new Hidushim, and learning the halachot, and Sod, which we didn't talk about yet. So we went through Maaseh. It talks about Maaseh is all about, No, that's something else. That's how to explain the Torah. You have Peshat. You can explain the Torah through Peshat, through Dirash, through Revez, and through Sod. That's separate. But over here, we're talking about there's three avenues of how to serve, let's say, or how to handle the Torah. First one is the mitzvot. You do the mitzvot. I go to shul because I'm supposed to go to shul. Okay, very good. You get a mitzvah for that. The second way is Iyun. Iyun is learning Torah, teaching Torah, and coming up with Hidushim. And we compare it to fields and to vineyards. Why? Because there's sometimes the land is gonna you buy a land that can handle vineyards, and sometimes you'll buy a land that can handle fields. But you'll never. It's very rare to be able to buy both. The Torah's got both. Why? Someone who's analyzing is able to come up with all different types of new things. Then, but it's amazing, but it's true because any type of hidushim, you can have hidushim in Hasidut, in I don't know, all the different facets of who we are. You could anything on the same pasuk, on the same pasuk.
Shivim panim.
Shivim panim la Torah. So it's amazing that you could produce that from the Torah from nothing.
But on the one hand, Torah is limitless.
Huh?
On the one hand, Torah is limitless.
Correct.
On the other hand, since you put in the Torah, that makes it limitless.
Very good point. No, but each one of the 70 ways are limitless. But very good, nice one.
No, that's by Shlomo Melech. He knew like 3,000 imukim on 3,000 imukim. Like incredible. We won't get there. It's a matanah from Hashem.
Of course, a matana, but all chokhmah, which we're going to say now actually, is always a matana from Hashem.
But I'm telling you, Shlomo
And
Melech had
Zera
that.
Shimshon-
But Shlomo Melech had it and still didn't know Torah
because
Aduma.
right, but I do that right. A chokmi mani.
Yeah.
You have to. By the way, you know in the Hakdama of Zera Shimshon, I recommend each one of you to read it in the English, the Art Scroll. His entire Hakdama is consistent in Pesukim, paraphrasing Pesukim. It's a poem. It's a poem explaining the obligation of. By the way, Sasha, you'll cry. You'll cry. It's a poem. It's so unbelievable. Shh.
Which poem?
The Hakdama of Zera Shimshon.
Yeah.
Right, Bereshit. You gotta look at the Bereshit one. It's not down.
Tell me something. How this
I'll
right?
send it out.
It has to be number 3. How many volumes are there
10.
of this?
Yes. 10 volumes Art Scroll.
limited.
Buy them one at a time, like everyone else does.
No,
That's it.
Vadai.
Yeah, so that's what we did. That's what we all do. You buy them as we go.
So we're on 3 now.
We're on 3. Okay. No,
When did
one
we-
more.
no.
No. We're on 3. Open it. Look on the side. It'll tell you.
Here it says 3.
That's 3. That's
No, 3 in
3 of
Shemot.
Oh, that's 3 in Shmos.
Look on the side. It probably says 6 or something.
Like Gaval.
Okay. So why? Because what does it say? When you learn, and you be'iyun in the Torah, boys, listen up. Come on. מי שמעיין בה מחדש בה כל מיני חידושים ונוטה התורה בזיכרונו, and the Torah is implanted into your memory. Why? Because the pilpul helps you memorize what you learn. The pilpul, which sometimes I know people walk out of very confused, but when you get it, it stays with you forever. When you get it, it stays with you forever.
Yeah.
If you walk out confused, that just means you shouldn't leave. And you should do it one more time. Like, by the way, it's a famous Gemara, and I love this Gemara in Ketuvot Kov Gimel
That's why
Amud
you go
Bet.
over it so many times.
Huh?
That's why you go over it so many times. You start again every time.
My boy. Why? By the way, there's two Tanaim. Yeah. 101. There's two Tanaim that they were being cholek on what the halakha was on something. Rabbi Hanina and Rabbi Hiya. Okay, two giants. And they say, one says, he goes, you have to trust me that the halakha is like me. He goes, why? He goes, because if the Torah was forgotten in the world, God forbid, I'd restore it through Pilpul. I would restore it through Pilpul. And the other rabbi says that, well, if the God forbid, what I would do is I would, you know what he says? He says, I would buy deer. I would shech the deer, give the meat out to children.
No, he did it. Yeshua ben Levi did it.
No, it's not Yeshua ben Levi. It's Rabbi Hiya. Rabbi Hiya and Rabbi Hanina are arguing.
Is this
What if
beginning of
the
the
Torah was-
But
dosa?
one of them did
No.
He
it.
says I wouldn't even have to
Rabbi
restore
Hanina.
it.
That's
Rabbi
Melabed,
Hanina.
Melabed Tanotis.
Yeah, who was it?
He was the one that said I wouldn't even have to restore
He
it.
did
I,
it.
yes.
I wouldn't even have to
He
restore
says
it.
I
He
would
did
never
it.
let it be forgotten in the first
Because
place.
he did it.
Listen, he says, I'm good, thanks. He says you should listen to me because the first one says you should listen to me because if the Torah God was ever forgotten, I'd restore it to the world through people. And he says, and the other one says, no, you should listen to me because I would make sure that the Torah would never be forgotten in the first place. How? Because I said he goes through the whole detailed thing
Of what
of
he did.
buying deer, not what he did, what he would do.
No, but the Gemara says he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta keep reading. I read the Gemara. I don't know about that, does it?
There's one, I don't know if it's the same story. There's a Tana that did exactly what you said. He went, he shechted deers, he hunted
And what did he do
deers.
with the hide? He wrote
With the skin,
scrolls
He
to
wrote Sefer Torah and he gave it to little
the kids.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and what does he say? Teach someone else.
I thought it was Shuban Levi. He's saying Rabbi Chia.
That's definitely Bechia. And he tells him what? He tells him learn. Shishasi Dere Mishai. Look up Ketubot. It's over there. Right there. Yep, right there. The third one. Next one.
Kaf
Yep,
Kaf Gimel.
Kav Gimel. Give it them. Give it them. Kav Gimel. It's there. It's probably highlighted. So he says I'll handle. So he goes, I would make sure that it wouldn't happen in the first place. And the Hidushim Shisari. By the way, so now the Zera Shimshon
This
explains.
is the third volume.
Oh, you need the second one. I'm sorry. So now he explains what are the two things you need in order to
The
be
first one, maybe.
in order. No, Kav Gimel. Kov Gimel. I said.
Kuf Gimel?
Yeah.
Ah, there you said
Sorry, it
Kaf
is the
Gimel.
third one. Yeah, I said the third one. Sorry. So the Hidushim, he says, in order to make Hidushim, you need two things. You need to have two things. You ready?
Yeah.
The first thing you need is a good memory.
Okay.
Zera Shimshon's writing this. In order to write Hidushim, by the way, the Baal Magid, okay? The Zikaron Tov Mimash Mikol Shemash Shelamad. He has to remember what he learns. Because he's got to remember, he's got to be able to refer to it. If you're going to take something from Shulchan Aruch and connect it to something in Gemara and something in the Zohar and something in Midrash, then you need to remember all these things because you got to be able to put it together.
He has a lot of sources.
Do how many we did until now.
He knows everything. What?
How many did we do until now?
You have, okay, by the way, you have Shemot Rabbah, you have a Pasuk, you have Mishleh, you have another Pasuk, you have Megillat Esther, that's 5 so far. You have a Gemara, you have Midrash Rabbah, you have Avot, Masechet Avot.
You have Zera Barech.
That I included that, right. You have Rosh Hashanah is coming up. You have 9 so far that I just skimmed through on one derasha of many. Okay?
All at his fingertips. Unbelievable.
Yes, legit all his fingertips. Unbelievable. So that's the first thing. The first thing you need is a great memory to remember what you learned. The second thing you need is very important, straightforward logic. You need to have sechel yashar le'ayin ulhavin davar shebitoch davar. You have to be able to remember what you need to be able to remember one thing from the other. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Here.
You
Here, I found
You
it.
found it? Did he do it again or no?
It sounds like he did it. He did it.
It sounds or he did it?
He
Because
did
two
it.
different
He
things.
did it. He did it. Listen.
He did?
He says, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
He says, in response, he answers,
Put the camera on him.
but I perform actions that ensure, actions
Right, that'd be Hayah.
that ensure that Torah will not be forgotten from Israel in the first place.
Right.
For I bring flaxseed and grow and sow it, and once the flaxseed is grown, I weave nets with it, and with the nets I trap deer, and I
So he's
feed.
saying he's doing that already.
Yeah, and I feed meat
As
of
in,
the
what I'm
deer
doing is
to
gonna make sure that's
orphans,
never gonna be
to
done.
orphans,
And I teach them Torah.
and I prepare scrolls of parchment, the sulfur, from the hides of the deer, and I go up to a city where they are no teachers.
Right. By the way, you understand? By the
For
way,
the
he's
young
giving you the secret.
children,
It's
and
crazy.
on the parchment I write the
Unbelievable.
5 books
Right. Hashem Torah.
for 5 children.
Right. Oh, so each one learns each
One
Wow.
book for each child.
And that way that child teaches many children.
One order to each child.
Right.
Amazing. Huh?
Well, it's good you knew where it was.
Yeah, well, Zera Shimshon did. I just read it. But thanks. All right.
Good Torahs.
So again, so you need to have good memory, and this is very important. You need straightforward thinking. Why do you need straightforward thinking? Because you can't mess up what the Torah is trying to tell you. Like we said this story. I'll tell you a story, a funny one. Someone came to Rabbi Eli Mansour in Brooklyn, and tells him, Rabbi, I got a hidush for you. He gives him a hidush, and then he saw the rabbi didn't like it. The rabbi wasn't buying it. So the guy goes, Rabbi, stop! It's 70. Shivi panim Torah. It could be. What do you mean? He goes, yeah, but this is the 71st one. that's not right. You have to have sechel yashar. Le'ayen ulhavin davar mitoch davar. Right? Dehainu mamash kemo sadot. Exactly like sadot kramin. You need to know which land is right for this product. You can't put produce. You can't plant etrogim in Brooklyn. Because if you do, they ain't gonna work. It's not gonna fly. That's the whole thing.
But a tree grows in Brooklyn.
Not fruit bearing.
But also, it's the same thing with when you're talking to people. You also have to know what kind of fruit that person is willing to accept. You know,
Also, very good.
Nice.
Very good.
right? Because sometimes people are just like, I don't get it. You know, you start talking.
You're talking a different language, buddy.
Yeah, right, exactly. You
Very good.
gotta know which language to talk to.
שצריך שהארץ תהיה ראויה, right? The land has to be ראוי, גם לנטייה כמו תהיה ממין הענווה הטובה. You need to know, bottom line, you need to know which land is right for what product. So same thing like that. It's amazing, right? Now we're going to get to the sword. Let's get to the sword. וכנגד חלד הסוד עמד.
One nation from Canaanites who knows where to plant, which kind.
Shlomo HaMelech knew the secrets of the streams that were coming out of Beit HaMikdash. He knew where the streams go to the whole universe, and there he knew where to plant all the stuff.
I'm telling you, it's one of the biggest, the curse of Adam and Yishon that we have to work. You don't realize how much the curse is really related to our learning. If we didn't have to worry about money, we'd be able to sit and learn so much more. Because God bless you older, and you know the value of the Torah, and you would want to attach yourself to the Torah.
It's true.
It's true. And you can't, because of Adam and Yishon, who we are part of, by the way.
That's מבחינת עולם הבא. Like we just sitting and starting.
Sitting a what?
עולם הבא. מבחינת עולם הבא.
Yeah.
We just sitting and starting.
Sitting and start, right. Right. Enjoying the Ziv Shekhinah.
That's why Friday afternoons are so challenging.
Friday afternoon, yeah.
It's so
why?
difficult because that's the original chait.
Right.
Wow.
One of the biggest challenges between husband and wife are always
Taking
Friday
a sword.
afternoons. And that's why you have to be very careful about how you respond to your wife. On
Be
Friday.
patient.
Be
Be
patient, yeah.
patient.
I don't come home until Shabbos.
Then when something goes wrong, you're like, I gotta go shul.
Time to go.
There's,
It's 2 o'clock yesterday. Time to go.
there's a segula to put the tablecloth, the white tablecloth on the table before Hatzot.
Yeah.
Shalom
night.
Bayit. I tried it. I have to admit, it works a little bit.
A little. Take
A
it.
little bit's worth it, yeah.
A little bit is
Let's talk about your sword. Let's talk about your sword. Now, remember, what's this? Your sword that no one knows the value. That's your sword. Remember, sword, not your sword. Sword. Right? The person comes and tells you, "Loker mekar ve'en adam yodea mahu." There's a person there's something that a person acquires. He doesn't even know what he acquired. Right? This is the sword part. Now we're gonna get to the sword. Even someone who knows the secrets of the Torah, there's always going to be parts that are hidden from him.
whatever you think you got.
Why? This is very important, especially here, because you cannot buy books of sword in English. You cannot buy books.
I'll be right Kaplan, no.
I love Rabbi Kaplan, but
No, it's not the same.
Sodot.
It's not the same.
No,
He doesn't teach it the
Sodot.
same. It's not the same. He
Sodot
doesn't give you the
Sodot.
sword.
Sodot.
Yeah, he doesn't like give you like
very
the
filtered.
Rabbi Kaplan.
Yeah, it's very
It's very
filtered.
good.
Zal, he wrote books about sword.
Very good, very good, very
But
good. I have all set here.
But if you want to know sword, you have to see the OTOs.
Yeah.
You're on the money. You're on the money. Why?
That's
Why?
like Rabbi
you have to
Chaim
see it?
Vital.
Vital, right. Why? Because there's certain things cannot be spoken. There's certain things that cannot be spoken about.
Rabbi, not
Not
only.
Rabbi.
I know, Charles.
No. Yeah.
Charles,
Or
give a kick. I'm going to talk to an Ashkenazi. Also not Ashkenazi. Give a kick.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly. It's not just no. The Rabbi Chaim.
We got
Zal,
Zod going on.
and
That was a big step.
they would say the combinations. They would say the combinations of the otiot, but etzem that you see the otiot that you see Yud K Vav K. That has sod and a shpa'ah on you directly into your brain
Exactly.
and neshama.
Exactly. By the way, it's exactly
Which is
what
why
Zera Shimshon does now.
reading Kabbalah,
It's
even if
exactly-
you don't understand it, has a big Rosh Hashem on you.
Yes, that's the only thing you can read and not know what you're reading, and you have it because even if you think you know it, you don't.
Right, but
So
the
it
thing that you
doesn't
see
Now we're
to have a
doing
shpa'ah on your
Kabbalah
neshama
class.
from seeing the
Close your
otiot.
eyes now.
Well, you know what else I saw? If you learn Midrash, it's the same level as reading the Gemara. Yeah,
I love Midrash.
I know you do, but you still gotta learn Gemara. But
I'm learning more, bro.
I know, no. I'm just saying
I
that.
wish I was learning more Midrash.
Same people.
So look, what's
Same
that
time,
just saying?
same
He's saying
players.
that there's certain things that can't be spoken. And how does the person know? Ela shemi shezocher. The person is zocher, like Zera Shimshon says, right? You gotta earn kiddusha. It doesn't come to you. You don't earn kiddusha. It comes to you.
It is.
Right? I'm sorry. Ela mi shezocher mevin midato shemin hashamayim meirim nishmato kedei sheyasig v'sichlo ledvarim setumim.
You can't explain it.
You're not gonna be able. No, you can't write it
Yeah,
down.
right, tell it, it's a little-
By the way, you open Zohar. I say it all the time. It's a bunch of stories. There's a lot of stories. Midrash
The
stories.
Shama gets a hara.
You have no idea what's inside. What you think is a story is not a story. You don't know the sodot that are inside, but you can't write it.
That's right.
You know the Gemara, by the Mishnayot and the Gemara, that was like pushing it. We got lucky that we got that. But sodot, forget about it. That's out of the question altogether. You can't write that down. That's why whatever you think you're reading, you're not really reading. And the only way you get to be zocher to understand is if you're zocher, if you get to see it. And that's exactly what the mekach that you don't even know if you have. That's the same thing. כדי שישיג בשכלו דוד סתויים, וזה מורחב מקנה ההוד שזכה משה. And this proves it from the face of Moshe Rabbeinu that came down and he didn't even know it and he was all bright. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu was zocher for the 50 levels of binah.
So the Torah is the best mekach, because even the metavech doesn't even know how good it is.
Right. Even the who?
The metavech, the son, the guy,
The broker.
Moshe
The
Rabbeinu,
broker.
even. So
But,
any person.
but he only knows, how do you know? You only know it if you're zocher. It's not something you could read in the books.
Hashem wants to give it to you. If you
That's the point.
Yeah.
Only if Hashem wants to give it to you, which is crazy, by the way. Which is crazy. You know, think about it. How many times you're walking, you're thinking, all of a sudden, like something just comes to you.
That's right.
Wow, that's a gift from Hashem. That's no joke. That's real.
It's in learning. So it's talking
That's
about
okay, but-
learning.
but
Sometimes
that's-
you read the
that's-
same sefer and like this line, okay, and then sometimes like, oh.
Right, because it connects with you. So now, knowing this, you can answer a different question. It says, Al ta'azbu et ha-mekach sheratati lachem. Remember we said? That he says that don't leave this great mekach that I'm giving you, this great asset. But the question is, what makes you think that somebody would leave something like this? Now, I'm not getting that. Some things have kesef, some things have zahav.
Not understanding,
Right?
not understanding
But
what it
why
is.
would you leave it?
Not understanding what it is.
No. What about the other two? The kesef zahav, zahav and kesef, sadot karamim, karamim sadot.
Because you.
Why would you
Why would
think
we want
I
to
would
leave
leave
the
that?
Torah? Why
would you
would
wanna
we
leave?
want to leave the Torah?
That's the question.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
What makes you think? Why does the Midrash have to warn us not to leave? If you're going through this gorgeous thing, like, hey, sounds amazing. What makes you think I'm going to ever want to leave? That you have to warn me not to leave? There's a reason. V'yesh lomar, listen. Sheba Hashmiel is coming to teach us. She'enu domeh sachar shel mi she'oseh mitzvah ahad b'shana le'mi she'oseh ota b'chol yom. He's going to explain now 3 different reasons why he has to write it.
Why you might think that he's going to leave the Torah?
Yes, all based on the maaseh, the iyun, and the sod, in like 7 lines. You can't compare someone who does the mitzvah once a year versus somebody that does it every day. You can't compare them. So it's the same thing. Maaseh. Don't leave it. Don't not go to shul. You go once, you think you're a hero. Imagine if you went all year. That's what he's saying. How amazing it is. That's the first one.
But this is something you have to teach a child
From young.
From day
By the way, I
young.
saw a video. I'm going to tell you. Shame on us. I'm going to call us all out. Shame on us. If these Yemash Shemam Zichram are able to teach such hate at such a young age, Okay, shame on us that we can't teach our kids.
No,
to go
but
to
there's a
shul
half
level.
down.
Yeah.
It's much
You
easier.
understand?
There was that
much
video
easier-
that week.
Yeah.
much
I don't
easier-
care. I don't care.
Much easier to teach the fun of hate and murder than to teach.
Say it all you want. We're not trying hard enough. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying no,
So then that's it.
but
Then that's it. Then that's it.
But I don't know if I can exactly compare it.
Try as hard as them, and then we can talk.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Listen,
Why is it harsh?
It's like dinim.
What is?
We can't even imagine what's going on with our children if we can't understand.
You see pictures of them with the kids. We can't get our kids to do the
זה לא מצא עשה
I
אלוקים,
understand what it
right?
is. But are we trying as hard as they are?
it's
So that's
different.
not-
It's wait. No, it's
That's
not-
the- that's-
I don't agree with that.
You don't have to agree.
I'll tell you why. Because we are teaching our kids in school, don't hit him, no, don't slap him, no,
How
don't push
hard
him
are we
away.
trying?
And we do it. We do it. Our kids are menches. Their kids are what?
All
Hit
of
him, punch him, hit him.
Not all our kids are mentioned.
No,
But it's
their
much
kids
easier.
no.
It's much
No,
easier
we're
to hate
just
than it is to love.
Much easier.
Agreed.
So Sarah Imenu, she saw this filth of them and she said, לא ירשת בין המים הפני יצחק. She saw the filth of this Adam. She kicked them out.
Even Hashem
But
regrets
you
it.
know,
I want to finish this Zera Shimshon because we have another one to do.
Okay.
So again, the first one is to compare what on Manaseh. You can't compare somebody that does the mitzvah once a year versus someone that does it every day. And Kol Shekem, that's someone that runs to go do the mitzvah. Which means what? The more motivation you have, or the more consistency you have, the better it is. What's better, giving $100 one shot to tzedakah, or giving $10 10 different places?
According to the Rambam, $10 10 different places.
Why?
Because it trains you to
Because it trains you to
give.
do more mitzvahs.
And I'll give you a different way to look at it. That I heard a different way to look at it.
Amen.
Also, Rabbi Mitzvah. No, Rabbi Yedid, Rabbi Meir Yedid.
Oh.
If you go to the gym and you do 1 rep of 100 pounds versus 10 reps of 10 pounds, you're gonna get more out of the 10 reps of 10 pounds.
For sure.
Versus the 1 rep of 100 pounds.
Well,
So it's true. Yeah, when was the last time you went?
What's the difference between that and what Yosef just said?
Why?
Yeah, he just said if you scatter $10.
You literally walked in 4 seconds ago. What are you doing to me? Go ahead. No, I agree. I'm saying it's a different. No,
I don't understand. Help me understand.
I'll give you that.
I'm lacking.
This is building that point.
$10 to 10 different places because you're increasing your muscle of giving, as opposed to what you said.
No, but
is
he said he's making 10 different mitzvot, right, Yosef?
The
You were-
Rambam.
what were you- so Rambam, what does he say?
Rambam says that you give $10 to 10 places because it will train you to do more mitzvot, to give more.
Isn't that what
Same
you
thing.
said? It's the
Same
same
thing.
thing.
Slight
Does the Rambam
4 seconds ago. I'm just saying. 4 seconds ago.
I'll tell you something.
I come to, you know.
Right. To wake them up.
I did this deal with my son. I said, here, we have $100, and we can give it to tzedakah. Who do I give it to? So my son is thinking of families he knows in Beit HaRelit that need the $100. Okay, I said, okay, you know what? Let's try this instead. Let's go downtown in B by the pizza shop at lunchtime. How
What's a
many
B?
Bachrei yeshivot are
Where's
coming
B?
out in
It's
Beit
B and
HaRelit?
Beit Ha'al. It's A and B and
Okay,
C.
how many Bachurim? You see 3 Bachers and they're doing this. One guy's in the middle like this, and they're great. They're counting. They want to buy a piece of pizza. So I said, well, wait. So I said, this. Now what we'll do is we'll give each one $10 so they can buy a whole pizza for their group.
Nice.
And we did it a lot, by the way, a lot. And I
So
said,
simple.
okay, so which was the better tzedakah? We fed all these Bochrei Yeshiva when it was time for them to eat. Now they went back and learned. And they also learned how to give tzedakah because they were the recipient of tzedakah for Essen, Tag Essen.
Right.
As one family, it's nice. There are families that need to have $100 to buy for the whole family for Shabbos. Not saying it's not nice, but the $10 lesson.
Got more for your value.
In terms of my son learning tzedakah,
He also
and
did it with his
we
goof.
did it.
He did it with his goof. He went out and did it.
I don't
He didn't
agree.
just-
Oh, it
I'm
was
not
good.
joking.
It was
I'm joking. I'll tell you something to say that.
It was a good. It was a good.
Point
It
made.
was. We did it, and it was a good thing.
No, it is good. Okay, so look, we went through the first one about Maaseh, right? You can't compare the guy Yoni that does something once a year versus the guy that does something every day of the year, and he definitely can't compare the guy that runs the shul instead of just going to shul already doing mitzvot. The second thing is important. Okay, the second one is the iyun. You can't compare a guy. You can't expect. Look, you can't come to class and be on your phone the whole time and walk out saying, It's on you. You can't do that.
Is he bringing this now to tell us why we maybe would leave the Torah?
Yeah,
Of a
because
guy
if
that
you
did a
don't do it
mitzvah.
enough, you're not
He
going
did
to get
mitzvah
out of
once
it.
a year.
Yeah.
He goes to Yom Kippur on Shul. He doesn't know.
He's explaining that there's no, what's it called? He's explaining that, Kamusora.
There's no
Here.
there's no easy way out.
Yeah.
Put it this one. So again,
No.
so, just do it.
No, we put it down.
Yeah, Charles, the issue is that a person has like a model of themselves, and like if you just do something one time, it's like you do it like you do an amazing job, like like in your own mind's eye, like I did an amazing job, but if you do it every single day, then you won't even be thinking about it, and it'll be like it'll be the image of perfection to a large extent. You can't do it all the time. You'll have that much diversity.
Right. Okay, I didn't hear everything you said, but I think it's good. All right, look. The second thing, guys, come on, I can't. Shh. The second thing is what's the second thing? The second thing is that someone that's constantly bayun, you cannot. I'm gonna wait. The thing when you're not constantly bayun,
Don't.
right? You cannot come up with hidushim. You can't expect to come up with a hidush if you're not gonna live the Torah.
This is watch out with this.
We gotta wash it. We'll wash it right.
No, you
We'll
can't
use a
wash it.
hose.
This is a thing that you almost can't eat it. It's
I stopped before because I want everyone to be quiet.
It's all right.
Don't worry about it. No one's eating the
He's
cauliflower.
eating it.
Oh, don't eat it. You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
I gotta wait.
Okay.
This is one of the only things you can almost
Legit. Shh. Guys, please.
Guys, you know there's a bracha to make on this cauliflower. It's al shmias hausnayim.
You cannot compare somebody that learns Torah once a week versus somebody that learns Torah every second of every day. And he's telling you, never leave the Torah. You want to be mehadesh, you need to put your own effort into it, and you will be able to receive. But don't expect. It's silly. It's like the guy that goes to the gym, but he's on his phone the whole time, and everyone else is working out, taking selfies.
Can I add a specific over here?
Yeah, you're the gym guy, you know.
All of our yes, in terms of practice does make whatever.
Form.
Yeah,
Form.
over and over again.
How you gonna get form?
And before
Over and over
Shabbos,
again.
in terms of religion, every son of every father is required to read the entire Parshat. It's a good standard.
Every son,
Of every father.
say every kid.
Okay, but it's dependent on the fathers to implement the practice.
I believe Parshat is super
You're
important.
saying in the week or for his bar
Huh?
mitzvah?
In the week, every week.
Oh, cool, I
To
like
read-
that.
To read the Parsha every week.
That should be a
Even
Abba.
in English.
The
You know,
Abba.
Kibbutz Abam is what? Is bet and
Kid
men.
or the Abba?
Bet is bet Shippa Elokim, mem is men matai kol yikirat shema. Rashi v'tav, Rashi v'alpeh. He's both. Okay. So again, you can't compare me. Hashem's telling you, you're gonna get such unbelievable things, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work. Right? So umi shelo yatmid be'iyun, constant be'iyun, lo yehadesh kemo mi shetamid osek ba. You're not gonna be able to be mehadesh something like a guy that's always with it. Umi shelo mishtadeh le'asik besodot HaTorah, the third thing, the last one. And someone that's not constantly learning the sodot of the Torah, lo yasigem, you're not going to get it. You can't learn the heavy stuff once a week and expect not to get it. Bless you. Now I know Shabtai Svi ruined the salt part of the Torah for a lot of people. Okay, but you should know, especially the Halabim back in the day. If you go to shuls, the old guys are still learning all the learn Zohar and all these things. There's a way and a time and a place to learn everything, but it's got to be learned.
It must be Rabbi Mansour's learning. So this is it must be.
A lot of rabbis.
They just don't talk about it.
You're not supposed to.
It's sneers.
100. By the way, I went to go see a rabbi in Bnei Brak. That's super. That's like a huge mikubal, huge. And he had the Zohar Matoklik last year, and then we walked in. He had another book here, and as we walked in, he went like this. So we shouldn't see.
The Zohar.
Zohar. Parshat, Terumah,
When I was a
he never
bucker,
saw us before. We don't know who he is. We never met him.
when I was a bucker,
What's his name?
when I was a bucker,
Steve Friedman. I'll tell
my
you.
friend learned in a different yeshiva than me. I'm not going to say which one. He went to the yeshiva and he climbed up the whole bookcase to get to a sefer on top, and he starts to open it up. He starts to look at it and read it. the mashgiach came and gave him a frock. Whack! He said, "Do you know?" He slams the book shut. He says, "Do you know what you took from up there? There's a reason why we put it up there."
What was it?
Sefer Yetzirah. He says, "You want to blow up the Beit Midrash?" He said, "No, it was a copy of Sefer Yetzirah." He didn't know.
Oh, he didn't know.
You didn't know what it was. We were 17 years old. But he got a frock for that.
Why? You could be Sefer Yetzirah. You think you're gonna know how to do something with it?
No, but the mashgiach told
Don't flatter yourself. Don't flatter yourself.
Listen,
That's great. That's a great line. That's a great line.
Don't
flatter yourself. That's the line of the night.
Let me tell you something.
Like it?
I like it.
Finish off.
I promise you that if you don't know what you're doing and you go like this on the Limon Esrim at least you go like this. Hey, look at that. What's that hammer doing? You'll only have 4 seconds to flatter yourself.
By the way, you should know the Zera Shimshon, since you're talking about all this stuff, the Zera Shimshon was very strong in Kabbalah Masit. Kabbalah Masit is exactly what you guys are talking about. Sefer Yetzirah, changing forms, doing things, all this. He was very big. There's a story about Zera Shimshon lived next door to the shul, and a fire broke out in the shul. And there's a story that says that he was looking at the fire and was able to extinguish the fire. He extinguished the fire.
What's the first
Put it there.
So there's a book that talks
Adam
about
Rishon.
Adam
Avraham Avinu.
Yeah, Chazal used to use it to make a cow.
Avraham Avinu or
It talks about the Aleph Bet there. Talks about the
So
Aleph Bet.
it's a book that explains how to make stuff. But you can't just do things. It doesn't work that way. You gotta be tahor. It's a whole other story.
Still, we have it.
We got it, but you gotta.
Still,
understand.
if you're 17, you shouldn't touch it.
Agree. No, get the tough. In Arabic is tough. Yeah, the kid's right. Lesson learned. It's fine.
They say also the Zohar.
You know what he
the
did?
Zohar
All his
you cannot
Hidushim. All his
learn
Hidushim.
if you're not 40.
40. You gotta be 40, married.
We don't poskin like that anymore.
What are you talking about?
The Chok Israel, there's a daf of Zohar in it.
Yeah.
And also you have to be 40 to do the Chok Israel.
That's one daf.
Another daf and another daf and another daf.
So what's the inyan? What's the inyan?
Anybody with
What's that? Everyone, shh, quiet. Come on. I'm giving you a secret about the Zera Shimshon that a lot of people don't know. All his Hidushim that he wrote on Kabbalah, he had buried with him. When he wrote this, he wrote also Hidushim on Kabbalah.
Can we dug it up?
No, we can't because we don't know where he's buried. We don't know where. We do not know. This is the only thing we have left. We don't have a picture. We don't have a shul. We don't have.
We can have a picture.
Zero. We do not
No,
have
we don't pictures.
pictures.
He was lived 200 years ago.
So I'm explaining what we
You don't
500 years ago.
Explain what we
No,
500 years
250.
No,
250.
like the American Civil War.
77 was
The
around.
American Civil War.
500 years ago, Ramchal.
250.
Where do you live? Where do
He lived in Italy.
Italy. He was a rabbi.
He
in
was
4
the
big
first
cities.
Italian of the
You know where
Jewish
is it?
mafia.
Huh?
You said you know where is it, no?
You're Italian.
One time.
It's one of 2 places. Alright, you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
He lived in Napoli.
Charles found
It
it.
was the Jewish
Truth is
mafia.
Charles found it.
We know.
Charles found it.
The problem is, no, I'll tell you, which is it's very sad, but it happened a lot in Europe. The cemetery got dug up, like Bet Peras. Anyone know what a Bet Peras is?
That's
Bet-
Mishnah.
Right, Bet Peras is a cemetery that got like uprooted to put a field. So it's actually a building in Italy right now.
But where he was buried?
They built on it. They built
It
on
got
it to
condemned. It
go.
was condemned. It was publicly condemned our property.
It was so there's machloket. So there's 2 places where there's a new because what happened was we knew where he was buried originally, but they moved it. Don't like cut this up and put it as a separate thing. They where he was originally they dug up a lot of those and moved them, moved the bodies to another location. Okay. Now we have someone who lives in Israel. Okay, I won't say his name. He had his secretary research this and find out if he was one of the ones that were moved.
Who is it?
I can't say.
Oh, sorry.
And we know for a fact.
The
We
Zera
believe we
Shimshon.
know for a fact that he was not moved.
Rabbi,
And the old cemetery was converted, and now
Rabbi Chaim.
yeah.
Rabbi, who wrote this?
So I asked Rabbi Zilberberg, maybe this
What's
kid
in
Shad
this
something.
place
There
now?
was
What's in
there's
this
no
place?
kid Shad anymore. We can't
That's
do
a part of the
right now.
It
building.
was Shimshon Chaim.
What's in the cemetery's place now?
Rabbi Shimshon.
Building.
Buildings.
Stam building?
What was the stam? It's not an office building. It's crazy.
It's amazing the building can function.
The question is, what year did it
Fall
happen?
down.
It could be that the Nazi, that the.
Maybe the building didn't fall down. Charles,
No.
Charles, how come the building didn't fall down yet?
What?
How come the building didn't fall down yet?
Because there's no Kiddushat anymore.
We didn't learn hard enough here. Not a steak.
No. We
That was the question. That was the
don't want to
question.
kill people for.
Yeah, that's what we learned about.
Just
Does the
yesterday.
Kedusha stay or not?
There's no Kiddushat so really the single it doesn't stop. So bottom line, we went through three things tonight, okay? So by the way, the list one is right. So that's what it says. That's what it says. Don't leave, because if you leave, you're not going to be able to get. You're not going to get it. You can't work out. You can't work out a bad diet, right or wrong? You can't work out a bad diet. If you eat horribly, no matter how much you work out, it's not going to work.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Unfortunately.
Every single thing has its own kav. Nutrition is its own kav. Within health, even sleeping is its own kav.
So that's the thing. That's what he's trying to say. He's saying if you don't, the Midrash is explaining to you that if you don't stick with the Torah 24/7, don't expect to be excited and be inspired and get what you're looking for. No pain, no gain. You gotta work at it. You gotta do
Who's
it.
responsible for that?
You are.
Who's responsible for that?
You are.
You.
Charles, you're not the father.
Yeah, we'll talk about with my kids.
The father is responsible for that. If you don't keep your kid.
Yes, you can't expect the kid. You can't expect the kid to not smoke if you're smoking, and telling him don't smoke.
I told him to stop.
That's it. Sometimes you don't want to hear Ba'aba, my friends. Ba'aba, my friends.
Switch it. I'm gonna go to another generation.
You know
Next
what?
Next
I'll tell you.
You sit on the
There's some
porch.
parents that used to say,
Stop that.
"I'm not one of your friends."
Zot Hanukkah.
Yeah, what I used to tell my